Due to turbulence ahead, passengers are requested to return to their seats and fasten their seat belts. Babies wailing and whitening, their knuckles clutching the armrests as the plane shook violently and the wings went up and down, except for those who were drunk, drugged, asleep, or all three. Is anyone else keeping calm? It is normal to have a fear of flying, or aerophobia. About 3 to 5% of people never fly, about 17% are fear of flying, and 30 to 40% have moderate anxiety. We also know that risk experts, the quintessence of rationality, are refusing to fly. It's a treatable condition, and British Airways plans to charge around £250 for the course, which includes a 45-minute flight, but unfortunately they don't publish the chances of success, or the number of people insane as a result. Again, this is a typical element of fear, as being stranded on a plane, far off the ground, and feeling completely out of control of our own destiny hits us. Perhaps a lack of understanding also contributes to the fear. What the hell, why can airplanes fly in the air? Will the plane fall from the sky if we all stop believing it can fly? We have also seen how negative images can easily affect our perception. In addition, the media of course likes to linger on photos of plane wreckage. We can think of some historical cases, such as Buddy Holly, and the Manchester United football team. But nothing about aviation disaster films can compare to the directly titled Plane Crash Info, a continuously updated database of all serious crashes involving commercial airlines, as well as shocking photos and audio clips from the black box, a disturbing message. In 2011, the website recorded 44 crashes, roughly one a week. That sounds bad at first, but it's an improvement on the 70 in 2001, which, of course, included 4 of 9/11. After their analysis, it shows that the flight phase is the safest part of the whole flight, and this part takes up the most time and also the least accidents. The risk of taking off and landing is about 60 times higher than that in the middle of the flight. Therefore, try reciting a mantra when encountering turbulence. The Plane Crash Information website also estimates that human error is responsible for half of all accidents, whether it's pilot error or mechanical failure, but there's nothing you can do to change that. But maybe there is something you can do, which is to choose the airline you want to fly with. The Plane Crash Information website estimates that among the 30 relatively safe airlines, the average rate of fatal accidents is once in every 11 million flights. The probability is 1 in 29 million per flight. On the contrary, on the 25 unsafe airlines, the probability of fatal accident is about 10 times, and your chance of dying because of flying is 20 times higher. For counting micro-fatalities, the best source of data is the National Transportation Security Administration's data on aircraft with at least 10 passengers on board. During the 10 years from 2002 to 2011, commercial aviation in the United States averaged at least 10 million flights each year. From the absence of major catastrophes during this period, and the average of 16 passenger or crew deaths per year out of 700 million people who fly by air, we can conclude that there are 0.02 micro-fatalities per flight, or before you die, you can have an average of 50 million flights, so if you fly once a day, it will take you 120,000 years to encounter it. Now, you might be complaining that we cleverly avoided 9/11 in 2001, so if we look at 1992 to 2001, there were a few major accidents in that period. It is calculated that each voyage is 0.11 micro-deaths, or before you die, you can have an average of 9 million voyages. But how do we calculate these risks so that they compare with other modes of travel? In trips or miles or hours? Let us use an indicative pessimistic number, that is, the chance of death per voyage is 1 in 10 million, that is, there will be 1 micro-death in every 10 voyages. 50 miles, so that works out to 1 micro-death every 7,500 miles or 18 hours, which is about 20 times the distance traveled by car to cause 1 micro-death in England, and about the same by train. As we have seen, the risk is not spread evenly throughout the flight, and on this basis, if you do choose a mode of transportation for your trip, you need to factor in things like driving to the airport or biking to the train station, etc. There's one set of flight statistics that differs from the rest, and they're another thing: small private jets. As we know general aviation, there are about 220,000 registered general aviation aircraft in the United States, and about 1,600 flight accidents occur every year, of which 300 are fatal. There are 6 accidents a week. On average over the past 10 years, no less than 520 people die in small plane or helicopter accidents a year, accounting for 97% of all aviation fatalities. Calculated, there are 13 fatal accidents per million flight hours, which is about 150 times that of commercial aviation. That is, a small aircraft dies every 6 minutes, which is about 15 miles of flying, and every time you walk or ride bike a mile is risky. We saw the same pattern in the UK, between 2000 and 2010, 9 fatalities in airlines, 34 in helicopters, 202 in general aviation, and the bigger the more safety. So now there is another question about the statistics and psychology mentioned above. Do pilots of small aircraft feel safer because they have control? If you know any pilots, ask him. One final thought: even with stable wings, turbulence can be dangerous. As of August 2012, 13 people in U.S. commercial aviation were injured by turbulence, 12 of whom were crew members. So when safety, buckle up when the warning light comes on, and be thankful you're just a passenger and not a crew member pushing a drink cart.